Hi everyone, this is a live session and today I'll be painting a laddu. I'll be sharing the reference image and the entire process. And I must say I absolutely loved it. So I started with a detailed line drawing directly onto the canvas. Once that was ready, I began laying down the colors: white, cadmium yellow, yellow ochre, cad red, alizarin crimson, burnt sienna, burnt umber, ultramarine blue, and a touch of green. I usually have a set of brushes ready, and I don't use linseed oil or any oil medium, but I definitely use a little turpentine for the first thin layer. I begin with my shadow brush and block in the shadow shapes first. You will notice two tones here, one leaning slightly gray and the other one with a hint of green. Then I added form shadow and light area. So at this point, I have 4 different values on my canvas. After the first wash, some of my drawing lines faded out. So I quickly redrew them with the pencil and then continue building the shape. Everyone has their own way of starting a painting. I like to block the bigger shapes first and then move towards the focal point. That is the main area of the attraction. Here, the red bundi in the center along with the cashews and the pista piece is the center of attraction. At this stage, I'm just roughly applying the values, working with 2 or 3 tones at a time. Form shadow, cast shadow, middle tone. For anyone new to these terms, form shadow is the dark side of the object. Cast shadow is the one it throws onto the surface. Middle tone is that in between area where light starts to turn into shadow. Light tone is where the light hits, and highlight is the brightest light sparkle on the top. Each little bundi has its own light and shadow story. So I'm just building that story here. You can see blocking the form shadows, then cast shadows, and then adding the middle tone. Here I'm also keeping in mind the area of the laddu which is in shadow, the area of the laddu which is in light. So you can see 2 different values or 2 different colors going onto the surface. Once all the main shapes are covered, I started refining one bundi at a time, adding more depth and highlight. I kept thinking of 5 main values: form shadow, cast shadow, middle tone, light tone, and highlight. I also noticed tiny reflections, like if bundi is near green pista, there is a soft green reflection, and near a red one, a little red glow. So these small touches make a big difference. The technique I use here is called Alla Prima, basically painting wet on wet without waiting for layers to dry. As the painting builds up, the lighter areas get thicker and the shadows stay thin and transparent, which gives a nice sculptural quality to the painting. Once the laddu was done, I worked on the paper underneath and the shadow area. For the shadows, I used 2 tones, and for the light or the light reflection on the paper, I used pure white. And talking about the bigger shadow here, the shadow of the laddu on the surface, I used purplish blue on the top and a hint of green in the bottom. Since the laddu is full of warm yellow orange color, I added purple in the shadow because they are complementary colors and balances the whole piece beautifully. After a few hours, I went back in with some dry brush strokes, added darker accent for definition, and of course some highlights, some white color, finished with a few bright highlights. And here it is, the final painting. You can really see the bold brushwork, the play of values, the yummy glow of light and shadow. This is on a 14 inches by 14 inches canvas, a big happy laddu full of form, color and texture. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to follow my channel for more live videos of painting everyday items. And if you have any questions, feel free to